At the beginning of the film, a girl named Ida is shown washing clothes. Suddenly, she feels someone staring at her from behind. When she looks back, she sees something horrific and screams loudly. Hearing her scream, her friends quickly rush to the washroom. When they open the door, they find Ida standing still, as if her soul has left her body. 2 days before this event, Ida was talking to her childhood friend Mia on the phone. Mia was going on a hiking trip with her cousin and invited Ida to join them. But Ida was worried that her mother would not allow it. While talking, Ida ran her fingers through her hair, and suddenly a patch of hair came out in her hand. She ignored it and threw the hair away. The next day, Mia visited Ida's mother to ask permission for Ida to join the trip. Ida's mother hesitated at first, but agreed at the end. Later, when Ida and Mia stepped outside, Mia noticed a shadowy figure with a scary face behind Ida. Thinking it might be a delusion, she left the place. Because of this, Ida feels something is off, but she sees nothing. However, it is clear that some supernatural presence is in Ida's house and affecting her body and mind. Later, we see Mia and Ida with their hiking group arriving at the hiking spot. Since it was already late, they decided to spend the night at a guest house. While sleeping, Ida suddenly woke up with a stomachache and realized it was because of her period. She told this to Mia, who suggested they could return home since hiking in the mountains in that condition could be risky. But Ida refused. She rarely got permission from her mother and didn't want to miss this opportunity over something so small. Mia stopped arguing. Ida then went to the washroom to wash her clothes. That was when the event from the beginning took place. For the first time, she saw the horrific shadow, and she screamed. Her friends rushed to the spot and found her in that state. She didn't speak, didn't respond, not even with her eyes, just stood still, as if her soul had been taken. Everyone carried Ida to the guest room, where she spoke for the first time. She told them she had seen a strange creature in the washroom, tall and skinny, with white hair like an old lady, a terrifying face, and glowing red eyes. After hearing this, the owner of the guest house became worried. She explained that a few years earlier, the same creature had been seen here. It had cursed the previous hikers, but with the help of some people and their ritual, the place had been cleansed of that entity. She warned them that the creature was very dangerous, and if it was visible only to Ida, then it must have come with her. Everyone grew concerned, and one boy suggested that Ida should return home. But Mia disagreed, knowing how important this trip was for Ida and that she might never get permission again. Eventually, everyone fell asleep. In the morning, Ida's mood had completely changed. She was full of energy and excitement, as if nothing had happened the previous night. Then, everyone picked up their backpacks and began the hike. Mia and Ida immersed themselves in the beauty of the mountain nature. Ida felt much more alive there than at her house. Meanwhile, back at Ida's home, her mother was cleaning her room. In the dustbin, she found a lot of fallen hair and several blood-stained tissues. Worried, she told Ida's father about it, but he replied that there was no benefit in being worried. Once Ida returned, they should take her to a doctor. On the mountain, Ida suddenly began to feel tired. She started panting heavily and seemed to zone out. Seeing her condition, everyone panicked. But when Mia called her name close to her ear, Ida suddenly snapped back. After that, they continued their trekking. When they reached the middle of their trek, they stopped to rest. While everyone is busy eating and enjoying the camp, Ida suddenly gets up, leaves quietly, and walks toward a nearby lake. Noticing this, Mia follows her and warns, "It's dangerous to wander around alone here, since we are in the middle of a wild place." When Ida turns to face Mia, her face has transformed, terrifying Mia. Ida tries to choke her with a dark, transformed hand, laughing wildly. Hearing Mia's screams, the others rush to the spot. They struggle, but finally manage to separate Ida from Mia. As Mia catches her breath, she suddenly sees an evil figure standing in the middle of the lake. It matches the description Ida had given before: tall, with long hair, wearing a white dress, and a scary face with glowing red eyes. They take Ida back to the campsite and use some remedies to wake her up. When Ida regains consciousness, she is shocked to see everyone surrounding her, confused about what happened. Mia directly tells her that an evil spirit might be possessing her, but Ida laughs it off, saying, "You guys should stop watching horror movies. That can't be real." Still, after this incident, every group member grows more worried. They begin to argue about whether they should stop trekking or continue to the top of the mountain. But Ida, being stubborn, insists she will climb to the top. She says it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and she cannot simply let it go. She reassures them that it is not a tall mountain, so they can reach it easily. Hearing this, the group regains confidence and continues their journey. After walking some distance, they begin to hear strange noises, as if something is running around them. Suddenly, the sound of children laughing echoes through the area, and their worries return. Mia once again sees the shadow, but she ignores it and tells no one. A little further ahead, only Mia notices an old man standing. As they approach him, a loud noise erupts, bursting in their ears. The sound is so painful that, even though they cover their ears, they all lose consciousness. When they wake up, the old man is gone. A boy in the group points out that all the paranormal events seem connected to Ida. He claims that she does not belong there because she is on her period, which attracts negative energy. Hearing this, Ida stares at him furiously, while the others ignore his words and continue the trek. After walking a short distance, Ida's condition begins to worsen. They sit her down and give her water, but as she drinks, she suddenly starts seizing. Her face begins to transform, her eyes turn completely white, and she starts giggling like an evil spirit has possessed her. The same boy warns the group that it would be better to return, since in Ida's condition it is impossible to climb the mountain. But hearing this, Ida acts even more unsettling. Her laughter grows louder, echoing through the jungle, which makes everyone uneasy. Mia becomes certain that Ida's mental state is unstable and decides they should turn back. This enrages Ida. Her eyes shift to a dark red, and she screams at everyone, saying that if they want to leave, they can, but now this mountain belongs to her, and she must reach the top. Her eyes turn bloody as she stands up and begins walking away alone. Mia realizes that Ida has become completely possessed by the same evil entity she had seen before. Ida declares, "I am going to the top. If anyone tries to stop me, I will kill them." Everyone is shocked and doesn't know what to do. In an instant, Ida disappears from their sight. Meanwhile, Mia notices an old lady staring at her, yet no one else can see her. She suddenly realizes that she alone can see these paranormal entities, as if she has awakened a third eye. From the very beginning, only she had been able to sense them. Understanding that Ida is in grave danger, she wastes no time and begins chasing after her, with the rest of the group following. Finally, Mia reaches Ida and tells her she must stop and return home with her. But this time, Ida is crying and says that this journey is the most important one of her life, and she cannot leave it incomplete. The boy again warns everyone that they are stepping in a fire, but Mia convinces him by saying there is a chance that everything will return to normal once Ida reaches the top. So, they continue their journey. The higher they climb, the worse Ida's condition becomes, but she refuses to stop and keeps climbing. At last, they finally reach the top of the mountain. Since night has already fallen, they set up their tents and try to rest. As time passes, Ida's condition worsens. Soon, she begins to show signs of possession again. She collapses to the ground, seizing violently. Hearing the noise, everyone rushes out of their tents. They try their best to control her, but nothing seems to work. Desperate, they decide to head downhill to find help. Not far from their camp, they found a group of people where a man who agrees to come with them. He observes Ida's condition and begins reciting something into her ear. Suddenly, Ida's eyes turn dark and blue veins spread across her face. Her body bends unnaturally, as if her bones might snap at any moment. Yet the man continues reciting even louder. All at once, Ida goes still and appears normal again, as if the evil spirit has left her body. Meanwhile, at Ida's home, her mother is praying. She suddenly feels as though something is staring at her, though she cannot tell who or what it is. When she tells her husband, he dismisses her concern. Back at the campsite, Ida suddenly wakes up from sleep and transforms into the same terrifying entity. Mia wakes as well, realizing it is only a nightmare, but then notices that Ida is no longer lying beside her. Rushing outside, she sees Ida standing in the dark. As she gets closer, Mia realizes with horror that Ida has completely transformed, just like in her nightmare, and is now fully possessed by the evil entity. Mia slaps Ida and tries everything to snap her out of it. Suddenly, Ida wakes up and Mia drags her back toward the campsite. Finally, dawn arrives. Everyone gets up, packs their bags, and prepares to return. But Ida is missing. Mia finds her nearby. Ida tells her she doesn't want to go back, that the mountain feels like her home, and she has never felt so much relief anywhere else. Before leaving, Ida looks at a boulder on the ground and whispers something. Mia notices but chooses not to intervene, thinking Ida has already gone through enough and her mind might be fragile. They reach their car, and the journey back is smooth. Soon, they arrive in their hometown, and the group takes Ida to her house. As soon as she returns, she goes straight to her room without meeting her mother, which makes her mother feel something is wrong. That night, Ida's health worsens. Her whole body shakes violently as she laughs wildly like a madwoman. Her condition is more violent than before. Even her father becomes deeply worried and calls a local priest. The priest recites prayers over Ida, but nothing seems to work. Finally, her parents take her to the hospital, but the doctors are also unable to control her condition. They cannot figure out what is wrong with her. Mia and her friends come to the hospital to meet Ida, but Ida's father is furious with them. He scolds Mia, blaming her for everything. Because of Mia's request, they allowed Ida to join the trip, and now, after returning, she has fallen into this condition. If you hadn't taken her, she wouldn't be facing this fate, he shouts. Make things right, or I'll file a police complaint. Mia sinks into guilt after this incident, though she knows she is not truly at fault. Meanwhile, Ida remains admitted in the hospital. At midnight, the evil entity, a tall, skinny figure with white hair, appears before Ida, and her health deteriorates further. The next morning, Mia visits Ida and helps her with breakfast. They talk, and Ida confesses that she saw the evil entity during the night. Hearing this, Mia assumes Ida's fragile mental state is causing her to imagine things. She later shares everything with the friends who went on the camping trip, but none of them can solve the mystery. The next day, all of Ida's friends visit her at the hospital. They pray for her and sit together talking. Suddenly, Ida begins to act strangely. She stares intensely at the right side door and tells Mia, "It's here again." But no one else can see anything. Everyone tries to convince her that no one is there, yet Ida cannot explain the terrifying feeling that overwhelms her. That midnight, Ida's condition became much worse. She suffered repeated seizures, vomited blood, and eventually passed away. The news devastated her family and friends, and the entire neighborhood was shocked. Only a week earlier, Ida had been a lively young woman. Now she was gone. The loss hit me the hardest. Even after a month, she couldn't accept that her best friend was no longer with her. The guilt weighed heavier because Ida's father had blamed her for everything. Night after night, Mia was haunted by nightmares and memories of Ida. One day, she remembered something unusual. When Ida left home for the hiking trip, her father had given her a small pouch and told her to throw it into the lake. Mia recalled that it was the same spot where she had seen the evil entity. This realization confused her deeply. The next morning, she told Ida's mother everything. Shocked, Ida's mother immediately confronted her husband, demanding to know what he had given their daughter that day. Despite a rule that no one was allowed inside his private room, her fury drove her to force the door open. Inside, she found the room filled with strange objects used for black magic rituals. The truth unfolded. Ida's father's business had been in decline, and he believed he was the target of black magic from a rival. In desperation, he had consulted a priest who gave him a cursed voodoo object and instructed him to throw it into a distant lake. That very day, as Ida was preparing for the hiking trip, he handed it to her to dispose of, never realizing the curse would bind itself to her. From that day onward, her health had begun to deteriorate. Her hair fell out, she vomited blood, and her body weakened. The black magic he had tried to deflect had instead reflected onto his own daughter. Hearing this confession, Ida's mother broke down in tears, accusing him of being fully responsible for their daughter's death. He admitted that he had done it only to save his business and never imagined it would cost his daughter's life. But her death had become the price of his mistake. Knowing the truth, Mia and her friends finally let go of their guilt. To honor Ida, they planned another hiking trip in her memory. During the journey, Mia saw Ida's spirit near that boulder. They spoke to each other one last time, proving that their friendship was unbreakable, even beyond death. And with that, the story comes to an end.